Hello, and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin hasn't really moved much today. I mean, not since my last update. We did already reach the support area here. I think in my last update, I shared with you this sort of just support area that we've got on the chart. Just an additional support area to watch, really, where the price could attempt to reversal. But due to the break of the micro support that we discussed yesterday, which was up here somewhere, I think 69K was the first micro support. And then it broke below 66.7, which was the next micro support. Definitely a larger top is in place. Could it be wave C to the downside? Yeah, that's unfolding now. I mean, that's what I'm observing primarily now. It would certainly complete this correction more rapidly. But as you can see, I did add already yesterday these trend lines, the converging trend lines that you see here. And these trend lines indicate that we could be working on a triangle pattern. That's nothing I want to predict because triangles, I mean, essentially, if really a triangle is unfolding, nothing's going to run away. You know, the triangle is just moving sideways in a range, and you have a very well-defined range here with the upper trend line, the lower trend line, and it would just move sideways for a bit longer probably. So if a triangle is playing out, there's no rush, and we can wait for enough waves to form to really suggest a triangle. Next step for a triangle pattern, that would be wave 4 as a triangle. Yeah, we would need to see a higher low form, which needs to stay above this high, which formed on the 20th of March around 61,100. Yeah, that would need to happen, and then a lower high, and then another higher low. And then we can call that a wave 4 as a triangle. Not really before. I mean, certainly a higher low here would help to bolster support for this scenario, but then also I need a lower high here. Higher low and lower high. That's how a triangle would look like. And it would be an ABCDE pattern. A wave, B wave, C wave, D wave, E wave, and then you would expect the triangle to break to the upside. Triangles typically break to the opposite of the E wave, which would be up. And the E wave would complete the wave 4. Is this something I'm expecting? No. I mean, it's not that I'm not expecting it. It is a potential, but I don't have enough waves for a triangle. There are so many other corrective patterns that could still play out here. But I wanted to mention it because a lot of people asked me about this triangle. I talked about it. You know, I've got the lines here so that we can watch possibly the lower trend line as additional support line. But it's nothing that I would predict, okay? I mean, it could turn into a triangle, yeah. The thing is, I haven't really seen many triangles this year, and also not last year in crypto. Maybe patterns that initially look like a triangle, but then don't fulfill a triangle. We know that Bitcoin rarely does triangles, really, really rarely. I mean, I can recall maybe, I don't know, maybe one or two relevant trend lines on a relevant time frame last year. That's it. There are not many, so probabilities for a for a triangle on the Bitcoin chart are fairly low in the current market. So I think the probabilities are higher for something else to form. For example, an ABC structure, which is the most probable pattern, A wave, B wave, and we could now be working on the C wave. That's possible, but it needs to come down a little bit further, okay, to really confirm that this is what's going on. I mean, the target area is on the chart. If this is the pattern, which I find most probable at the moment, then the price would need to reach 59,100. Ideally, okay, it doesn't need to reach it, but what we want to see is certainly that the price in a C wave goes below the low of the A wave. The A wave bottomed on the 20th of March, and it was around, 61,000 pretty much. So I need to see that C wave go below that, actually. That's the pattern I'm observing. Now, this is a support area simply to watch. I'm not telling you that this is a setup. I haven't labeled it, nothing. It's just a support area we should watch because the price could, from here, extend the B wave. So as I always say, you know, these corrections, they always change, they always morph. Even in a triangle, there's a good chance to turn around to form that higher low in this box, which goes down to pretty much 63K. But if it doesn't do it there, well, then again, that would further increase probabilities that we are in the C wave to the downside. Yeah, and to really have a nice and clear 3-wave pattern complete, I want to see 5 waves down in wave C or 4. I currently only see 3 waves. Micro patterns are not very clear here at the moment, so I haven't labeled them, but it does look unfinished. For an ABC structure, it does look unfinished, and we should see the price come down lower to 59.1K. But bear in mind, we need to keep an open mind. I mean, it's still in a corrective structure here, this chart. Triangle is something I just wanted to mention. I see two, let's say, clear pathways here. One is obviously, as highlighted here in yellow, this ABC structure. I'm following that primarily because I don't see any clear setup for anything else. But what's possible is that it's doing this instead of, well, the A wave was here also in the other scenario. And then I need to change to the standard ABC. But it's still possible that the price forms an extended B wave. That is still possible, and it will remain a possibility for a while. Yeah, until we break below the 20th of March low. This is not an easy pattern that we're dealing with. I'm still focused on that C wave to the downside, but I'm very much aware that in a 4th wave, we could still see extensions. And while my target was reached for this B wave, that last high I wanted to see didn't happen. So maybe it's going to extend. We'll see. It would be good for Ether, though. It would be good for Ether. Yeah, and again, you can see there's a lot of chop going on there, and it would be A, B, C in a larger B wave. That is still a possibility that we cannot ignore. Okay, so how to deal with that? We're going to talk about that today in our member live stream at 5 p.m. UTC. We are going to talk about how to deal with conflicting counts. But basically, within a correction, wave counts are only guide paths. They are not predictive, not in a correction. So there's a lot of chop going on. An element of the micro counting here is to educate. Another element is to stay on track to identify when a first impulse to the upside shows. Okay, that's the main purpose of the micro counts, and also to show you I believe the most probable pathway. So, for example, if now the B wave extends to the upside in the white count, I know that people wouldn't get caught out. Okay, so that's sort of to highlight, okay, that is still a possibility from here. We're dealing with a potential triangle or an extended B wave. But if the price comes down now into that area below 59.1K, then we would, in a very straightforward way, probably complete this ABC structure. This would be, in my opinion, an opportunity space down here. Up here, it's just chop. But yeah, how to deal with these conflicting counts? Well, we always know the key levels which invalidate each count, and we also know the key support area. And in a correction, I think it is very helpful to stay on the larger time frame. Yeah, you don't want to get caught in the chop. I often say don't trade the counts, trade the levels. The level here, this is the main support area, which I believe is let's say the main setup, an opportunity space against which we have to measure our risk in this wave 4 correction. If the price gets into this area, that's an opportunity, because the 5th wave to the upside should follow next. 80, 90, maybe even 100K. So from this support area, if the price goes nicely into the support area, this could be one of the maybe last main opportunities in this bull market, which is already in its mid stages, I would say. So I just wanted to share with you the key support area is still the same. Below 61.8 and 50.7K hasn't changed. All we're doing is we're dancing on that support area, which is bullish. And I think it's worth watching now, because we could, in a C wave to the downside in yellow, dip into that support area. And if we do that, pay attention to the communicated micro support levels between 59.1 and 54.9K. Here we might see a reaction and the start of a 5th wave. I'll of course keep you updated. Within a correction, the situations are very dynamic, so we have to stay on top of it. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.